Hello and welcome to the next Delorean video. I hope you've had a nice cup of tea. The hood is completely done now. We are moving on to the doors, the nice gull wing doors of the Delorean. And here are the parts we get in issue 66. A lot of fiddly parts, some springs, be careful. Just make sure I've got all the springs. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do have all the springs. That's good. Yes, lots of fiddly parts. So just take your time with this issue, not to lose any parts or have any springs bounce off or anything like that. So let's bring back this colossal framework, and we are dealing with all this stuff here in the middle. These are the door latches, this area here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the springs very carefully from the packet, and we get 4 of these pieces here. Oops, they're very small. These pieces here, they've got they don't connect to anything. There's no screw holes, but it does have this little part here, and you just put a spring over that sticky outy part there, like that, when it wants to go on. Anyway, come on. It's probably good actually. There's not wanted to go on all the way. There we go. So that is quite a nice tight fit actually, so you probably won't lose that spring. Then what you need to do is have it facing this way, so it goes upstairs like that. And then have it so that the spring pushes against there like that. And you just push it in there so it fills that gap there. Then we get one of these pieces, which we have seen to hold the wires in the interior of the Delorean. These are bigger, but then you just put that over there like that and secure it down with some AM screws. And then you repeat that 3 other times. So 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. So I'm just going to do all of this. Sit back, enjoy this sped up montage. There we go. That was actually relatively painless, and you see that they do move and spring back, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so what we need to do now is just flip this around, and we are working in this area here of the Delorean. Just going to try and prop it up so you can actually see it better. There we go. So there we go. We're working on this area here. Right, the first thing you do is you get this little tiny part here, and you just place it into this gap here like that. If I can get this in. Yeah, it is in there like that. Just push it through that hole. Oops. You do want it so it's sticking out of that hole. There we go. So that's on there like that. Now the next part requires one of these 2 wires here. They are the same apart from in colour. So we've got a switch on that side and then a connecting part on this side. You want the white cable for this side, which is 66H in the instructions, and you push the connecting side through this hole there like that. And then this switch is going to be, oh come on, there's loads of wires. This switch is going to be positioned just behind this black part here that we just installed. There's a lot of wire to go in, and then the switch just pops in there, if I get the angle right. There you go, just like that. Oh, no, it's too far in. Oh, no, that black part's come off. Very fiddly, this. Let's get the switch in first, because the angle of it is very interesting. Come on. In you go. Right, so the switch is in there like that, and then this black part. Nope. Is in there like that. Okay, so that's how you want it to look. Okay, and then you secure it down. We saw this with the last door latch with one of these, and it's got a peg and a hole system. So you just push that in there like this to cover all of what you've just done. And that's not wanting to go in. Maybe it's the other side. Yes, okay, it's the other side. Come on. Why isn't that wanting to go in? I think it's just a question of trial and error. Trying to get this switch in the right position. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that is it. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, right. Right, I'll show you what I did there with the next one. Let me just screw this in. Oh, the angle's a little off. But yeah, let's just make sure that this one is nice and secure in there. And I'll show you with the cables now. I'll do that one off camera so you get the gist. You do the same with the other side. But what you need to do is when you're connecting this part here, you see they've got two sticking out parts. Now you need to get one of the sticking out parts, this one here, behind the switch so it fits in there like that, and then it's got the tab there and this black part here around these silver parts. Okay, so you just do the exact same thing on the other side. When I've done that, I'll be right back with you. And I went ahead and I put the orange wire one on. It was very fiddly, but I did manage to get it. The next step after you've done that is when you've put in the switch here, which is just there, you run the wire down through here and you get 2 connectors per wire to thread the wires through. I didn't think it was worth filming and then going off camera to put them in to show them again, so I just did them off camera. You've seen them before. It's exactly the same thing that we did with the wires, and you can move the wire quite freely with them, which is a do still love. Yeah, and that is it for these parts of the door, especially when regards to the main frame, because in issue 67 we get this part here. Let me zoom out a little bit, which is the interior of the door. I can't believe we're on the Gullwing doors already, but we are in issue 67, so you know, it makes sense to be. But yeah, I really like this gold gun metally paint here, which is really nice. I'm pretty sure that these are meant to be cushioned, but they're not. They're plastic. That's okay for me. I don't mind that so much. Yeah, and I do like the little sculpting detail, which is pretty cool. We then get a plethora of little parts that we're going to attach onto this main part. So to start off with then, we get this part here, which is again the same metally goldy colour. Bronze? It's not quite bronze, is it? But maybe. You just push that part into there like that. So it does fit in there. And then you flip it around and you screw it in from the back with a JP screw, which are these ones here with the circle heads. Okay, sorry for the weird cut there. There are actually 2 lock parts. You've got this one here, which I showed you, and then this smaller one, which is the one that goes in here. So it just, yeah, it fits much more nicely, and you just pop that in there with one of the screws. Again, you have to kind of screw it at a slight angle, which is a bit of a pain. But that's okay, actually, that's going in pretty well. And then these parts, oh, they don't move. It just sits there nicely like that. And then you get the rear one, which is what I showed you, and it comes with a peg and a hole and a peg and a hole. And you just push that in there like that. And again, attach it with a JP screw, just like, oops, let's put this back in. Just like this, just pop that in there. And I thought that these parts will turn because they've got, the screws have got a circle head, but they seem to be in there pretty well, pretty tightly, so maybe they don't. But those are the door locks all in place. Very cool indeed. The next thing we need to do is flip this around here, and you see we've got some cutout squares here. Now what you need to do is you need to put these parts here for the LEDs, because the doors do light up. You put a red one there and then a red one here like that, looking great. And And then to hold these in place, you get these black parts here. So again, you've got the peg and the screw system, and you just pop one over the red LED there like that. Yeah, there is a little hole for the LED, so I guess we screw that in later. And to screw these in, you use KP screws, which I'm just getting out of the bag now when I'm not knocking things over. Okay, so let's just line that back up and then just pop that in there like that. And then that will hold that red translucent part in place there like that. This one's come loose because I just knocked it. So let me just put it back in place there like that. And it's a different kind of connector for this one. It's this one here, which looks a little bit weird. And I don't really know why they're different, but they are. So there's no peg. Oh, there is a peg. So the big hole goes over there like that, I guess. Yeah, okay. So this little hole here, there's a little peg just there. You just need to push it into, oh, this red part. Come on, in you go. Pop that in there. It's just attracted to my finger somehow. Okay, so yeah, it pops over this little peg part there very nicely, and then it just attaches there again with a AP screw this time. So let's get them out of the bag. Crikey, my fingers are not wanting to work. I think probably because of all the super glue that's on them. They're very dry, very brittle. Well, my fingers aren't, but the super glue surrounding them is. There we go. So that is that part on there. Oh, I see. It matches the gold there. That's very cool. That's really nice. So even though there is a seam line, it does look like it's welded into the door a little bit more because of that piece. How cool is that? Very nice. And then, if I've got this right, yes, there's a little orange here for the this part of the door. So you just put this orange translucent part in, like that. And then we get the second of these black connectors, which we used to put the first red in. And just push the peg in there. Oops. Oops. There we go. And then screw it down with the KP screw, like I have here. And that is the LED, not the LEDs, that is the translucent parts all in place. So you've got the bronze or amber one there, and then two reds there. Looking pretty sweet indeed. The next thing we're going to be attaching is the handle, the door handle, because you pull them down because they are gull-wing doors. And this really nice fabric here, very similar silver to the plastic grey we've got. So what you need to do is you need to get the part with the black plastic part just there, and you thread that through this part here. This really doesn't work with super glued hands. No, come on. Right, so thread that through there like that, and then pop it out the other side like that. There we go. And there's the handle. And then you need to bring this end up here and push it through that black loop there. Oh, I got it. I got it. There we go. And that is the handle all done. So you see it attaches there, and then it will open up. Oh, why do my fingers not work? There we go. So that's the part you pull on to close the door, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, looks great. And then this connects to, where does this connect to? Oh, okay. Nothing to do with this part. This connects to this part here. So we have this fits in somehow to, okay, this way around. That makes sense. So that fits in there like that somehow. Maybe this way around. Yeah, that way around. Okay. So it looks great there, just a little handle. And then turn it around and you just screw it into these two holes there with AP screws. Oh. Oh, wow. That snapped right off. That's a pain. I wonder if I can... Okay, I wonder if I just screw in the other side. It will hold in place. Crikey, this is a messy couple of videos. I'm not going to go in as hard this time. That is a little loose. That's a pain, so that's going to need some more glue. But if I take this out, I can just put glue. Oh no, it's just threaded as well. Probably is. Oh no, it does come out. Does it? Okay. Let's try taking this one out. And then pushing this one. Oh, because the plastic, it's all just gone wrong. So yeah, I'm just going to drop a little bit of glue there and attach this properly. And when done that, I'll be right back with you. Here we go. Disaster averted. That is really secure now. And we've still got the pull down wire fabric all working. So that's good. Then the final thing you have to do is you get this black part here, which has some nice rich detailing on this side. And then some more detailing on the inside there. And you just pop it around so it fits in there like that. Oh, it does push together quite well, so you don't technically need to screw it in, but I'm going to, because now I've said that, it's gonna pop out, isn't it? Just sod's law. So yeah, let's just screw in this one here. I'm going more gentle this time because these parts do seem to be quite fragile. Nope, that took quite well, so that's nice. I wonder if this one will be the same. I hope so. There we go. In you go, in you go. Yep, that takes brilliantly. There we go. Fantastic. And I guess at some point, this part is going to be attached here, attached here, attached here. Probably there. Yes, it's going to be here. Maybe. Maybe there. Is it attached that way? That doesn't make sense. It's going to be attached to this part at some point in the near future. Well, in 2 weeks' time for us. So I hope you will join me for that. We're going to be looking at more door. It's all door now for the next few videos. So yeah, like I say, I hope you join me for that. I hope you've enjoyed this video and the other video earlier today. And I'll see you in a fortnight's time for more Delorean parts. So until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye. I just want to thank my patrons John Medney, Jay Falchenbauer, Tom Butcher, Jerry Wilson, Omar Khan, Gary Lewis, Simon Edwards, John Dunseith, Glenn Philo, Andrew Woods, Fabio Gugel, Simon Dunn, Brick Bardo, Thomas Parker, David Cunningham, Mark Frampton, Louis Pays, Terry Schwanditz, Donovan Asmawid Jaja, James Brown Jr., The Miskatonic University Podcast, Dave Westbury, Michael Chambers, Marcus Simon, Vince Steele, Savigny Barrett, Michael Anderson, and Flash. Without you guys, this video would not have been possible and this channel would be dead, so thank you very much.